You're listening to the Kirkintilloch Herald, a Q & Review recording service podcast, brought to you by our team of volunteers currently recording from their homes across Scotland. Whether you're listening via the BWBF online players, the telephone app, or our brand new Alexa skill, please phone us on 0141 772 3976 to feedback on what you want us to provide and improve upon. Please also join your family and friends in being our audio ambassadors and share our Facebook, Twitter and Instagram all at Q & Review. That's at symbol CUEANDREVIEW.
This week's Kirkintilloch and Bishopbriggs Herald, date Wednesday the 18th of January 2023, is brought to you by Alan, Corey, Hunter and me, Ian. Prioritise the vulnerable. Families have reached breaking point over doubled fuel bills. Report by Andrew Dowdeswell, and read to you today by myself, Ian. The average East Dunbartonshire household is paying almost twice as much as last winter to fuel their home, new figures suggest. National Energy Action said the situation will continue to deteriorate this year as customers face spiralling energy bills when the government's energy price guarantee, which means bills for a typical household are currently capped at £2,500 per year, rises in April. Energy usage varies throughout the UK, so we've studied local figures to work out how much an average household might pay in your area. The latest figures from the Department for Business, Energy and Industrial Strategy show the average East Dunbartonshire household consumed 14,825 kilowatt hours of gas and 2,819 kilowatt hours of electricity in 2021. 1 kilowatt hour would run an average oven for around 30 minutes, while the median has been used to exclude extreme values which could skew the average. At the current charging rates capped by the government, it means that average households on a variable tariff continuing to use the same amount of energy as in 2021 would be paying around £2,711 per year to run their home. Based on prices last winter, the average East Dunbartonshire household would have an annual spend of approximately £1,371 for the same amount of energy, just over half as much. Households on a fixed tariff will pay for energy at the current rate until the term comes to an end. Adam Scorer, Chief Executive of National Energy Action, said the situation could worsen this year following the end of the current energy price guarantee, claiming 1 in 3 households will be in fuel poverty. Mr. Scorer said this means people will be forced to bed wearing coats, ration showers and hot water, run up huge debts, or self-disconnect and go cold. Millions of the most vulnerable, carers, people with disabilities, those on low incomes living in inefficient homes, are already bearing the brunt this winter, he added. The effects of this are devastating on both physical and mental health. Make no mistake, cold homes can kill. Government intervention must prioritise the most vulnerable in 2023 and beyond. And that report was written by Andrew Dowdeswell. This week in history. January the 18th, 1911, US pilot Eugene Ailey, in a Curtiss aircraft, made the first landing on the deck of a ship, the cruiser Pennsylvania, moored in San Francisco Bay. On this day last year, 5 million Britons were recruited to join a major health study aiming to predict who will get ill in their later years, even before they show symptoms. January the 19th, 1966, Indira Gandhi became Prime Minister of India, following in the footsteps of her father, Jawaharlal Nehru. January the 20th, 1993, William Jefferson Clinton was sworn in as 42nd President of the United States. January the 21st, 1907, taxicabs were officially recognised in Britain. On this day last year, an 88-year-old grandmother who lost sight in her left eye became the first person in the UK to detect signals in her eye using a revolutionary new bionic chip. January the 22nd, 1947, fresh meat ration was reduced to 1 shilling 5p worth weekly. January the 23rd, 1931, Anna Pavlova, Russian prime ballerina, famous as the Dying Swan, died at age 49 at their home in Hampstead Heath. On this day last year, a Scottish charity which helped provide life-saving surgery to children in some of the world's poorest countries celebrated the opening of its landmark 50th operating theatre. Grants now available. Rainbows, senior citizens, pipers, swimmers and skateboarders. These are just some of the previous recipients of support from the Eastern Bartonshire Community Grant Scheme. The latest round of funding is now open, with £71,017 available to be distributed. Groups can apply for up to £3,000 per year, provided they have a constitution, have a bank account, are not for profit, aim to bring benefits to the residents of Eastern Bartonshire. The deadline for this latest round of funding is Friday the 10th of February 2023. The application form and grant guidance are available by visiting the Community Grants webpage. The guidance outlines the range of eligible activities which can be funded, including start-up costs, special projects, equipment, salaries and running costs, and the criteria by which grants are awarded. Applications are assessed by the Grants Advisory Committee, which makes recommendations for awards to the Community Planning Partnership Board. Councillor Gordon Lowe, leader of the council, said, "In the current economic climate, even a modest grant could help make a huge difference. The aim of the scheme is to empower local people and groups to make positive impacts within our communities, helping them to carry out important projects and work. Support will be targeted at applications which tie in with Eastern Bartonshire Local Outcomes Improvement Plan, particularly around addressing poverty and inequality issues. There are 2 funding rounds per year, with grants given out to a wide variety of local organisations. Please apply if you're eligible. All applications must be made online. New groups can apply even if they're in the first year of operating. Groups can apply for up to £3,000. Successful applicants will be asked to complete a monitoring report to help explain how the funding helped. For more information, visit the Community Grant Scheme webpage and the Local Outcomes webpage.
Think about the alternatives. Injured patients are being urged to consider accessing minor injuries units, MIUs, to be seen faster and to help reduce pressure on busy A&Es. MIU staff can treat a vast range of injuries, and patients can even receive a scheduled emergency face-to-face appointment if they access the service through NHS 24 on 111. They can also access an emergency video or telephone consultation from home through NHS GGC's virtual A&E service, also known as the Flow Navigation Centre, via the same route. The vast majority of patients who self-present to an MIU continue to be seen within 4 hours, and those opting to access the virtual A&E usually receive a consultation within the hour. There are 3 dedicated MIUs across NHS Greater Glasgow and Clyde. These are New Stobhill Hospital, New Victoria Hospital, and the Vale of Leven Hospital. An MIU can treat the following injuries: cuts and wounds, including those that may need stitches, minor burns and scalds, sprains, minor injuries or broken bones in legs below the knee and arms below the shoulder, insect bites or other animal bites, tetanus immunisation after an injury, minor head injury where there has been no loss of consciousness or vomiting, dizziness or any other symptom of concussion, removal of foreign bodies from eyes, nose or ears, nose injuries and broken noses, removal of rings, earrings and studs. More information on MIUs and on the virtual A&E service can be found on the NHS GGC website. Read by Alan Todd.
Greer welcomes rail fare changes. Ross Greer, Scottish Green MSP for Eastern Bartonshire, has welcomed the Scottish Government's decision to remove peak rail fares. The change, which will come into effect from September, was a key proposal of the Scottish Greens during production of next year's Scottish budget, which was published recently. This will have a big impact for families and commuters in Eastern Bartonshire, and could save them hundreds of pounds per year, while protecting the planet by encouraging more people to take the train rather than drive. Greer, who led on budget talks for the Scottish Greens, said, "I am delighted that we have been able to deliver this policy, which will make a big difference to people in Eastern Bartonshire. It will save rail users a huge amount of money during the cost of living crisis and help Scotland to meet its climate ambitions. Removing peak rail fares builds on the success of free bus travel schemes, which Greens introduced for everyone under 22 earlier this year. It will play a vital role in ensuring that public transport is an affordable, attractive choice for travellers. It will end the two-tier system which currently punishes those in Eastern Bartonshire who travel by train to work or study, have no choice over when they need to do so. It will open up our railways and make it cheaper and easier to leave the car at home. Getting more commuters onto buses and trains fast-tracks the kind of transformational action that will benefit people not only now, but also in future generations." MSP hits out. An MSP has spoken out following NHS Greater Glasgow and Clyde's decision to suspend all non-urgent elective procedures. Commenting, Katie Clark said, "This is a deeply concerning development in what is surely the worst crisis our NHS has ever seen, certainly in NHS GGC's history. We now have a situation where A&E departments are overrun, the public have been asked not to attend for minor injuries, and patients missing out on important procedures because Eastern EDs are under such pressure. Let's be clear, lives will be lost and patient safety affected because our hard-working NHS staff are not being supported. A lack of resources is putting the public at risk, and further delays to referrals and treatments could lead to the NHS completely collapsing entirely, both in Greater Glasgow and Clyde and across Scotland."
Scheme judged to be a success. Scotland's nature-based careers sector is to receive a welcome boost with the return of the Working with Rivers scheme following its employment achievements in 2022. The 2023 scheme will support graduates involved or aspiring to work in the restoration required to tackle climate change and biodiversity loss, and includes Loch Lomond Fisheries Trust. Scotland's Nature Agency has teamed up with Graduate Career Advantage Scotland and Fisheries Management Scotland to support organisations offering placements in river restoration, flood management, invasive species control and woodland creation.
MPs called to scrap plans. Eastern Bartonshire MP Amy Callaghan has called on the UK government to scrap plans to introduce legislation that will restrict workers' rights. Under the UK government's plans, drawn up by former hedge fund manager Jacob Rees-Mogg MP, bosses would be able to sue trade unions and sack striking workers. Ms Callaghan said this was a direct attack on workers' rights and would undermine a fundamental part of our democracy. The plans have been condemned by trade union bosses, with Unison saying that the UK government was picking ill-advised fights with NHS employees, while the Royal College of Nursing said the move was undemocratic. Rishi Sunak and his government have fast-tracked the proposed legislation amid strikes across the public sector. Unlike the Scottish Government, which has reached agreement with several groups of workers, UK ministers are refusing to negotiate until strikes are called off. During a parliamentary debate in September last year, Ms Callaghan said the only way to look after workers was for the full devolution of employment law to Scotland. The Eastern Bartonshire MP is now challenging Labour and the Liberal Democrats to provide clarity on their positions, and said it was on opposition parties to explain why they would prefer the Tories' war on workers over a Scottish approach of treating workers with respect. Commenting, Amy said, "Families and workers across the UK are suffering under the cost of living crisis that has been made so much worse by the reckless actions of Westminster. Instead of recognising the challenges people are facing, Rishi Sunak and his chums have taken a leaf straight out of the Thatcher playbook and declared war on workers. The reality is that while workers in the private sector have received on average 6.6% pay rises, public sector wages have only increased by 2.7%. That is in the face of inflation running at 10.7%, food inflation at 16.5%, and soaring energy costs. As ever, the Tories are siding with bosses and attempting to demonise workers who are simply asking for reasonable pay. Striking is the only tool available to staff to send a message to government.
New date is announced. It's a new year and a new dawn for the Allender Leisure Centre. The current Bearsden facility will bid farewell to its final patrons on Sunday the 15th of January. It is anticipated that the first customers will be welcomed to the new state-of-the-art sports and leisure complex on March the 6th. The site is being redeveloped as part of a £42.5 million investment by Eastern Bartonshire Council, which also includes a support centre for adults with learning disabilities. The existing Allender is closing to allow essential utility disconnection and connection works, and the transfer to the new building nearby to take place safely and efficiently. The new Allender will offer an 8-lane swimming pool and 20-metre training pool with movable floor, sauna and steam vitality room, hydrotherapy pool, gym and high and low intensity studios, state-of-the-art spin room, 8-court games hall, 2 squash courts, wet and dry changing facilities, cafe. There will also be a new support facility created for adults with learning disabilities, replacing Kirkintilloch Resource Centre in Kirkintilloch. Jim Neal, chair of EDLCT, said, "It will be bittersweet as we bid farewell to the current Allender, but we're all looking forward to welcoming our first customers to the new centre on Monday the 6th of March. Unfortunately, it was not possible to simply close one facility and open the other due to essential utility works, the transfer of equipment, and logistical preparations. We apologise for any inconvenience, but I hope everyone can bear with us as we ready the new state-of-the-art premises for its first patrons." Councillor Gordon Lowe, leader of the council, added, "I look forward to the opening of the new Allender Leisure Centre. It has been a challenging project to deliver, and I would like to pay tribute to everyone involved, from the members of the community who helped to shape the plans, to all the partners involved in its planning and construction. Exciting times are ahead."
Council School Meals Survey. Eastern Berkshire Council is launching its school meals consultation, and they're asking parents, carers and pupils in all primary and secondary schools for their views on school meals. The council want to know what children and young people love about their school meals and what kind of foods they'd like to see on the menu. The online survey from January the 9th for 4 weeks is easy to fill in and should only take 5 to 10 minutes to complete. The council are looking to find out if children eat school meals, and if not, why not? What factors are important to parents and carers? Cost, nutritional value, variety. Convener Councillor Paul Ferretti said, "It's important that we provide nutritious meals that children and young people enjoy. Well-nourished children thrive at school, and we are appealing to parents and carers to fill in this survey." You can find the survey on the website at www.easternberkshire.gov.uk/school-meals-consultation.
NHS seeks your help on being discharged. NHS Greater Glasgow and Clyde is seeking the public's feedback and experience of being discharged from hospital. The feedback will help shape the board's approach to informing, encouraging and supporting families, patients and staff to facilitate early discharges back into a home environment from hospital. The survey forms part of the Home for Lunch initiative, which is aimed at those patients ready to go home and not reliant on any additional care services being put in place ahead of going home. The campaign seeks to highlight the benefits of being discharged as early in the day as possible, both on the patient going home and on patient flow through the rest of the hospital. NHS GGC is keen to hear from anyone who has been involved in the care discharge process to find out a little bit more about their own experience, the challenges faced in getting home, and what their wider understanding of the benefits of a pre-noon discharge. Anyone wishing to contribute should fill out the following survey by the 30th of January. Professor Angela Wallace, Nurse Director, highlighted some of the things patients should be thinking about ahead of their day of discharge. She said, "We know that for our patients ready to go home, who have a suitable home environment waiting for them, staying in hospital any longer than required can be detrimental, particularly for elderly patients. We also know that if you're able to get home in time for lunch on your planned day of discharge, this means we are able to help other patients who might be waiting for a bed and potentially minimise any extra time spent in A&E. It's so important for us to understand what support you might need to get home. This can be as simple as having a conversation with your nursing team alongside your loved ones so we can plan your discharge together, provide any additional support if required, and ensure everything goes as smoothly as possible. We're keen to hear from anyone involved in the care discharge process to find out more about their own experience and what challenges might have faced them. See www.nhs.scot/your-health/person-centred-health-and-care/home-for-lunch/
Walking into 2023. The festive season is well and truly over, the celebrations are done and life is getting back to normal. We're in the middle of a cost of living crisis and NHS services across the country are facing significant challenges, so the future may seem daunting as 2023 gets underway. However, there is so much we can do to start the year on the right foot and to take control of our health and well-being. Even small changes, getting a little more active, eating a little more healthily, or cutting down a little on what we drink, can make a big difference for you and those who you love. Over the next few days, the Health Improvement Team at NHS Greater Glasgow and Clyde will be sharing hints and tips and handy information, and what better place to start than at the Great Outdoors by joining a health walk. Dozens of health walks take place across Greater Glasgow and Clyde every week. Anyone can take part, and they're a great way of meeting people while getting out and taking in the sights of your local parks or gardens. Conor McLean, Health Improvement Senior, Physical Activity at NHS GCC, said, "Since it needs nothing more than a pair of stout shoes and a decent coat to take part, walking is the easiest exercise there is, and putting one foot in front of the other has a long list of benefits. A brisk walk can help you strengthen muscles, manage a healthy weight, and reduce your risk of some serious conditions including type 2 diabetes, cardiovascular disease and certain cancers. It's proven it can really benefit your mental health, particularly if walking in a local park, woodland or green space. Regular walking can reduce the risk of depression, stress and anxiety, and promote positive mental health by helping you to sleep better and connect to nature. And on top of that, evidence tells us that walking with others at work or in walking groups creates social and well-being benefits that are just as important as the physical benefits walking brings. To find a health walk near you, visit Paths for All's Health Walk Finder at www.pathsforall.uk/walking-for-health/health-walks or call 0141 232 1860 and select the walking option.
Free testing must remain. The Scottish Government must urgently reintroduce free lateral flow testing for all to save lives, the Scottish Labour MSP Katie Clark has said. She added that the public's ability to fight the virus must not be dependent on individuals' ability to pay. Her call comes as figures show COVID infections are at their highest level since July. Miss Clark, who represents West Scotland, described the decision to remove universal provision during a cost of living crisis as a fundamental mistake. She commented, "This pandemic has not gone away. Dozens of people in Scotland died from the virus last week alone, and infections are surging at a time when the NHS is under immense strain. Living with COVID should mean access to testing whenever needed. Removing that access in the middle of a cost of living crisis will have been fatal for many. Ensuring free testing for all is one of the very principles of our NHS. The ability to fight this virus must not be dependent on ability to pay.
Sign up for Spring Clean. Help keep your area beautiful. Report by Julie Curry. People across Scotland are being called upon to play their part in tackling the country's litter emergency. Keep Scotland Beautiful Spring Clean will take place this year from March the 17th to April the 17th. For those frustrated about the volume of litter in their area or at Scotland's many beauty spots, it is a perfect opportunity to make a difference. And the charity is calling on communities, schools, businesses and other organisations to play their part. The Scottish Litter Survey, published in December by Keep Scotland Beautiful, highlighted the negative impact litter is continuing to have across the nation. Some 67% of respondents said that litter was a problem in their local area, while 87% said it was an issue across Scotland. Barry Fisher, CEO of Keep Scotland Beautiful, said, "It is clear from our research that litter and the ongoing decline in local environmental quality across Scotland is a matter of significant public concern. There can be no debate that the litter emergency is here. The time to tackle it is now. We have such a strong network of groups across the country that played their part in helping us clean up Scotland, but we can do more to play our part. Spring Clean is a wonderful opportunity for everyone to make an impact. Every action, however small, makes a difference. We would love as many people as possible to take part and help us achieve our vision of a clean, green and sustainable Scotland." In December, Keep Scotland Beautiful published Time for a New Approach, Tackling the Litter Emergency, an update report which outlined damning stats from a survey of streets and public perception poll. 2 years on from the last report, evidence from the charity's audits for more than 2 decades shows a continuing picture of decline. And, worryingly, the public mood is that the situation isn't improving. In fact, people in the most deprived communities felt it was getting worse. Barry added, "Litter is still being dropped, and the same unsustainable consumption habits and throwaway culture, fueling the twin climate and nature crises, are also driving the litter emergencies. With almost 90% of people asked believing that litter is a significant issue of public concern, and our technical data showing the largest gap we have ever recorded between litter levels in our most and least deprived communities, this is an issue we must invest in tackling. And now. Why not organise a litter pick with friends, family, workmates, or your community? Or find one on Keep Scotland Beautiful's Clean Up Scotland map. There are more than 100 hubs across the country, while the charity's partnership with Litter Lotto offers financial rewards for people who bin their litter. For more information or sign up to join in, visit www.keepscotlandbeautiful.org/springclean. But still top list. Cigarette litter is the most common item of litter found by those taking part in surveys, recorded on 62.7% of all sites. Last year, the charity again recorded the highest percentage of sites with fast food related litters in a decade. While some of this waste has been eligible for the Scottish Government's Deposit Return Scheme, DRS, scheduled to be implemented in August, a large proportion of this litter could just be reduced in future. Barry Fisher added, "We all need to consider what we buy, throw away and how we treat places we visit, work and live in. Only by changing our behaviours can we keep Scotland beautiful. We urge everyone to take action."
Scottish Opera is set to visit local schools. Scottish Opera's primary schools production, The Curse of Macabre Opera House, begins its sold-out tour around Scotland in February. And the chilling tale with a good dose of comedy is set to visit several local schools in East Dunbartonshire. The Curse of Macabre Opera House features music from composer Alan Penman and lyrics from writer and director Johnny McKnight. The 30-minute gothic horror opera for Primary 5 to Primary 7 will be performed until June. Schools can take part in the project 2 ways: as a digital-only learning and teaching experience using online resources Scottish Opera provides to prepare pupils for all aspects of presenting a performance to an audience, or a hybrid digital and live learning and teaching experience for up to 100 pupils. If schools choose the hybrid version, on the morning of the workshop, Scottish Opera's team of musicians, singers and drama specialists spend 4 hours working with pupils to rehearse and perform a show in their school for classmates, friends and family, complete with fabulous costumes. The online resources are available now from Scottish Opera's website and provide everything teachers need to prepare their pupils for a performance. The Curse of Macabre Opera House is designed to work in line with the curriculum for excellence to enhance lessons already taught in classrooms and help staff implement some of its experiences and outcomes using active and cooperative learning approaches. Scottish Opera's education and outreach programme has featured in primary schools for over 50 years, and teachers from schools which have already taken part agree that the tour broadened the children's cultural experiences, improved teamwork skills, increased cultural confidence, as well as singing ability, and supported the aims of curriculum for excellence. Schools set to be visited are Mosshead Primary School, Mulgai Primary School and Baljaffrey Primary School. For more details about the Curse of Macabre Opera, visit Scottish Opera's website.
Academic moves. 2 Scottish literature academics will lead the University of Glasgow's Centre for Robert Burns Studies, the biggest concentration of Burns expert in the world. It was announced last week. Dr. Rona Brown and Dr. Pauline Mackay are the new co-directors of the centre dedicated to research, scholarship and teaching in the area of Robert Burns, his cultural period and related literature. They are joined by Associate Director Dr. Ronnie Young, Senior Lecturer in Scottish Literature and the Scottish Enlightenment. Both Dr. Brown and Dr. Mackay are active in the field of Scottish literature research, learning and teaching. The announcement comes ahead of the Centre for Robert Burns Studies annual conference in partnership with the National Trust for Scotland, Robert Burns Birthplace Museum in Alloway.
Prioritise the vulnerable. Families have reached breaking point over doubled fuel bills. Report by Andrew Dowdeswell, and read to you today by myself, Ian. The average East Dunbartonshire household is paying almost twice as much as last winter to fuel their home, new figures suggest. National Energy Action said the situation will continue to deteriorate this year as customers face spiralling energy bills when the government's energy price guarantee, which means bills for a typical household are currently capped at £2,500 per year, rises in April. Energy usage varies throughout the UK, so we've studied local figures to work out how much an average household might pay in your area. The latest figures from the Department for Business, Energy and Industrial Strategy show the average East Dunbartonshire household consumed 14,825 kilowatt hours of gas and 2,819 kilowatt hours of electricity in 2021. 1 kilowatt hour would run an average oven for around 30 minutes, while the median has been used to exclude extreme values which could skew the average. At the current charging rates capped by the government, it means that average households on a variable tariff continuing to use the same amount of energy as in 2021 would be paying around £2,711 per year to run their home. Based on prices last winter, the average East Dunbartonshire household would have an annual spend of approximately £1,371 for the same amount of energy, just over half as much. Households on a fixed tariff will pay for energy at the current rate until the term comes to an end. Adam Scorer, Chief Executive of National Energy Action, said the situation could worsen this year following the end of the current energy price guarantee, claiming 1 in 3 households will be in fuel poverty. Mr. Scorer said this means people will be forced to bed wearing coats, ration showers and hot water, run up huge debts, or self-disconnect and go cold. Millions of the most vulnerable, carers, people with disabilities, those on low incomes living in inefficient homes, are already bearing the brunt this winter, he added. The effects of this are devastating on both physical and mental health. Make no mistake, cold homes can kill. Government intervention must prioritise the most vulnerable in 2023, and beyond. And that report was written by Andrew Dowdswell.
Newborn baby bill. Stuart MacDonald has put forward a bill that would give parents additional leave if their newborn is in hospital for 7 days or more. MSPs from all parties are being urged to back a bill that could help parents of sick and premature babies deal with the practical and financial challenges they face. The SNP's Stuart MacDonald has already won the support of the charity Bliss, which supports the families of babies in neonatal care. He is now urging MSPs from all parties at Westminster to back his plans to ensure that the parents of sick and premature babies are entitled to additional paid leave. His neonatal care leave and pay bill would see parents receive paid leave if their baby spends 7 consecutive days or more in hospital in the first 28 days of their life.
Why not quit your way with the NHS? As part of the Health and Wellbeing series, the Health Improvement Team at the NHS Cater Glasgow and Clyde will be sharing information and tips to help people who smoke kick the habit for good. A new year marks a fresh start for everyone, and the Quit Your Way, QYW, Stop Smoking services are ready to help you become smoke-free in 2023. Geraldine Lucas, Health Improvement and Tobacco Control Lead, said, "Most people are aware of the physical risks of smoking to health, such as increased risk of developing lung cancer and chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, COPD. But smoking is heavily linked to having increased anxiety and depression, and whilst many people believe that smoking helps them cope, it can actually make symptoms worse. Stopping smoking can be a real challenge, but the benefits stopping can have on your health and finances are very real. For example, if you smoke 20 cigarettes a day, stopping smoking could save you over £3,115 per year, and our latest campaign, Smoking Burns Your Money, aims to highlight this, especially given the current cost of living crisis. You can also use our NHS Inform interactive tool to see how much money you can save. Top tips for a successful quit attempt include: keep a diary for a week and write down every time you've had a cigarette and why. This will help you to identify those cigarettes that you will find harder to stop, for instance the first thing in the morning. Write down why you want to stop smoking, and any time you're tempted, read your reasons for quitting. Plan ahead, set a date to stop, get rid of any smoking related products on or before your quit date. Get support to quit. Contact your local QIW Stop Smoking service for information, advice and support, and if you feel comfortable doing so, get support from family and friends. If you're ready to stop smoking, Quit Your Way services and NHS GGC are there to help and support you. All services are completely free. To find out more about the Stop Smoking services and to access the best support to quit in your area, call the Quit Your Way helpline on 0800 848484. Alternatively, you can visit quityourway.scot for more information. From the Kirkintilloch and Bishopbriggs Herald, date Wednesday the 18th of February 2023. Opinion, letters page. Let's talk. Please send your letters via email to kirkyherald@jnscotland.co.uk and write letters in the subject field. Lenzie footpaths in as bad a condition as ever. Sir, on April the 6th last year, you published a letter from me which contained complaints about the state of footpaths and roads in Lenzie. I said I did not think I had ever seen them in a worse state. I cited 2 footpaths as examples of what I was talking about: the footpath from the south end of Gallagher Avenue to Fern Avenue, and the footpath from the north end of Willow Avenue to Moncrief Avenue. Both of these sections continue to be in a particularly poor state. They are used regularly by pedestrians going to and from schools and the railway station. My hopes that adequate remedial work will be carried out have not been realised. A shortage of funds may be advanced as the main reason for the failure to carry out the work. However, it has not gone unremarked that what must have been a substantial sum has been expended recently on the resurfacing of Middlemere Road, Lenzie. Yours etc., Ian W. Thompson, Kirkintilloch Road, Lenzie. The vultures of private healthcare and big pharma. Sir, all Tory governments are the political instruments of ruling class wealth and privilege, and Rishi Sunak and his gang are no different. Their only loyalty is to a privileged elite. In opposing the demands of organised workers in defence of services, jobs and wages, the Tories have two tactical responses. The first preference is gesture politics, empty promises and offers of vacuous discussions in an attempt to divide the workers and build anti-strike opinion. Such posturing is always dressed up in a veneer of government reasonableness. When this fails, they threaten coercion, with more anti-trade union laws or intimidation using the police or army to undermine organised working class action. The other week, they started with threats and ended with gestures, grandstanding and hints of concessions. More dishonesty and signs of panic. With his shirt sleeves rolled up, Sunak convened a summit of health experts to consider the near collapse of services in many hospitals. True to Tory form, this meeting did not include frontline health workers or their representatives. It did, however, include the vultures of private healthcare and big pharma, who are eager to pick off the potentially profitable parts of our NHS. 13 years of Tory underinvestment in our NHS and the enforced low pay of health service workers was definitely not on the agenda of this meeting. And then, up pops Keir Starmer calling for a new partnership with the profit-greedy private sector to share good practice and resources. This would offer Big Pharma, the private health companies and others another foot in the door. And, just like all the Tory grandstanding, it won't pay the bills of our hard-working NHS. Yours, etc., Jim Milligan. Address supplied. Battery swap is way ahead. Sir, while I agree that at some point we will have to phase out oil and gas, until we can recharge electric vehicles as quickly as we can refuel a petrol or diesel vehicle, the electric vehicle option is not viable. Those who live in the countryside would struggle. I've yet to see an electric tractor, digger or combine harvester. If only we could switch batteries in electric cars like putting in new batteries in a torch, then the game would be on. Yours, etc., John Cutland, by email. Arithmetic is the thing, sir. When I was at school, 70 years ago, maths was algebra and geometry, and we weren't taught either until we'd mastered our times tables, addition, subtraction, division and multiplication, decimal and vulgar fractions, percentages, money, and length, weight and volume. The main use I ever found for geometry was in using a compass for hill walking, and the main use for algebra has been helping my descendants with homework. For most occupations, arithmetic is the thing, not maths. The latter is what many young people struggle with and are put off by. Let's teach arithmetic to all and leave maths to those who can better handle the concept and ramifications. Horses for courses, please. Yours, etc., Tim Flynn, by email.
Beating the Winter Blues in 2023. Blue Monday takes place on the third Monday of January, which falls on Monday 16th this year. It is coined the most miserable day of the year due to various factors such as bad weather, debt following the expensive Christmas, and failing to stick to those New Year resolutions you may have made early January. Winter in general can feel more doom and gloom than the brighter, warmer seasons. Here we share some top tips for beating the winter blues while prioritising your heart health. Outdoor movement. It can be tempting to stay indoors during the colder months when the weather isn't as nice and the days are dull and uninviting, resulting in us being less active. Getting outside, even for a short time, moving and exposing our eyes to some natural daylight, even if it isn't very bright, can instantly lift our mood. Try going for a daily walk or run, wrap up in appropriate clothing and get your heart pumping. Prioritise a healthy diet. A healthy diet can boost your mood, help you maintain a healthy weight and give you more energy. Concentrate on including lots of fresh fruits and vegetables, whole grain carbohydrates such as whole wheat pasta, bread and brown rice, and lean meats such as chicken and turkey. Aim to eat 2 portions of fish each week, including 1 oily fish such as salmon sardines, trout or mackerel. It can be helpful to opt for meals you can cook in a slow cooker so you can prep them in the morning when your motivation is high and they are ready when you're tired at the end of the day. Revisit your New Year's goals. If you have fallen off the bandwagon with your New Year's resolutions, don't beat yourself up about it. Creating new healthy habits and changing old, less healthy ones takes time. You're in a better position now than you were before you initially set your goals, as you now have some meaningful insight into what went wrong. Set your goals again and put things in place to support you where you fell off track last time. For more tips on how to stay healthy, sign up for our weekly healthy tips at www.heartresearch.org.uk/healthy-tips. That's www.heartresearch.org.uk/healthy-tips.
Growth Festival for local area launches. A Business Growth and Resilience Festival will be launched this week commencing 16th January, by one of Dunbartonshire's leading business organisations to provide expert advice and support for businesses. Dunbartonshire Chamber of Commerce has put together a host of online events in January and February to help support businesses across a wide variety of areas. Some of these include business planning, marketing and business development, digital transformation, social media, leadership skills and public sector tendering. The Chamber is also working with partners to provide insights into support available to business, including grants, training, finance and expert advice, as well as the HR, legal, health and safety and tax support offered directly by the Chamber itself. The festival continues the Chamber's Together for Business campaign in response to the coronavirus pandemic and its impact on all businesses. The online events are free and are open to all businesses, not just Chamber members. Damon Scott, Chief Executive of the Dunbartonshire Chamber of Commerce, is excited about the festival. The programme of events has been put together in response to the unprecedented challenges our businesses will continue to face in the coming year. We have committed to continue our Together for Business campaign to provide targeted help for all businesses in addition to the benefits we provide to the Chamber members. To register or to find out more about the events for the Chamber, visit www.dunbartonshirechamber.co.uk or contact 0141 280 0272. MSP tells the First Minister to get a grip now. Neil Bibby, MSP, has called on the SNP government in Edinburgh to get a grip of health services in East Dunbartonshire as the winter crisis takes its toll. With waiting times at an all-time high, a growing maintenance backlog and nurses set to strike, the MSP wants the First Minister to put the NHS top of the agenda. Dr Lila Peel, Deputy Chair of BMA Scotland, said patient safety was at risk every day in A&E departments and bed occupancy had reached 95%. Other issues include almost 2/3 of patients in Greater Glasgow and Clyde having to wait more than 6 weeks for diagnostic tests, the second highest in Scotland. There are just 5.6 GPs for every 10,000 patients in Greater Glasgow and Clyde, the third lowest in Scotland. Nurses in East Dunbartonshire are set to strike after rejecting a pay deal. Neil Bibby said, "Our communities are living with the reality of our NHS crisis, waiting longer and longer to be seen for treatment, appointments and procedures. Our health board ranks at the bottom of the league tables, so this crisis will be impacting on East Dunbartonshire patients more than most. Our NHS staff do an amazing job, but it is clear that at the end of their tether, and are being forced to strike because they are being denied fair pay. They deserve better. It has been clear for some time Health Secretary Hamza Yousaf has no plan for the NHS and staff are losing faith in him." This week, Nicola Sturgeon says it's the worst winter ever for the NHS, but why wasn't she prepared when health chiefs have been warning her for months? Carers Link got a Christmas boost. A local East Dunbartonshire charity organisation, Carers Link Kinship Carers, We're delighted to hear they were to receive a cheque for £1,000 just before Christmas from Waitrose and Partners in Milgai as part of their Building Better Futures Christmas campaign. The cheque was in recognition of the immense amount of work undertaken by kinship carers to prevent children and grandchildren from being taken into the care system. Kinship care is a term used when a child lives full-time, or most of the time, with a relative or friend who isn't their natural parent. This can be a result of a number of factors, including illness and poor health of a parent, addiction issues surrounding alcohol or drugs, sometimes both, but always usually because their parents are simply not able to care for them. That relative or friend who steps into the role is called a kinship carer, and it's estimated that around half of the kinship carers are the child's natural grandparents. Many other relatives, including other siblings, aunts, uncles, as well as family, friends and neighbours, are all presently classified as kinship carers, undertaking the role of providing a stable environment. With the very generous donation received from the supermarket retailer, Carers Link were able to award £60 gift vouchers to each child they support locally in Eastern Bartonshire, just in time for Christmas. Accepting the cheque on behalf of Carers Link, Dorothy Lafferty said, "I have been a kinship carer for over 20 years, and I'm very aware of the challenges faced by carers, particularly at this time of the year. It is, therefore, great to receive something extra to pass on, as well as to be recognised for the work we do. I would also like to thank Carers Link for the support I've received from them over the years. They've always been there for me. If you are interested in helping to support unpaid carers in Eastern Bartonshire, please contact Veronica at Carers Link on 07827 062 645 or email veronica@carerslink.org.uk or donate directly online. For more information on Carers Link, www.carerslink.org.uk or inquiry@carerslink.org.uk.
Teachers' strike is set to continue. Virtually every state secondary school in Scotland was closed last week as teachers continue to strike in pursuit of a fair pay settlement. Following the primary sector, secondary teachers and associated professionals took strike action, turning out in huge numbers on picket lines and at demonstrations and rallies right across Scotland. Amongst the demonstrations was a rally of teachers outside Bute House in Edinburgh, the official residence of the First Minister, Nicola Sturgeon. Commenting, EIS General Secretary Andrea Bradley said, "Following the show of strength from primary and secondary teachers and associated professionals who were on strike, the Scottish Government and COSLA must pay attention. Teachers do not want to be in the streets to seek fair pay, but have been forced into this position by the inaction of the Scottish Government and COSLA on teacher pay."
Wednesday, the 18th of January 2023. District News. Churches. Home Church, Scotland, Lammermoor Road, Kirkintilloch, G66 4JP. Let us keep our eyes upon Jesus, on whom our faith depends from beginning to end. Hebrews 12, verse 2. One Church, Home Church. 4 locations: Kirkintilloch, Glasgow, Stornoway and online. A church for all ages. Saturdays, warm space, warm meal, warm welcome at Home Church every Saturday at 6:30pm. Sunday, January the 22nd, 9:30am, communion service. 10am, prayer meeting followed by refreshments. 11am, worship service followed by refreshments and fellowship. The service in Glasgow is now at 3:30pm in Renfield Centre, Bath Street. Home groups begin again in February. See Facebook and Instagram for up-to-date information. St Columba's Hillhead Church. St Columba's Hillhead Church has 2 sites, St Columba's and Hillhead. Do join us for our Sunday morning service at St Columba's at 10am or at Hillhead at 11:30am. Tea, coffee and juice are served after the service at St Columba's and before the service at Hillhead. We'd love to meet you there, but if you really can't come in person, you can still connect with us by livestream via www.kirkintillochstcolumbus.org.uk or by searching for St Columba's Hillhead Kirkintilloch on YouTube. We have a shorter midweek service at St Columba's on Wednesdays at 10 AM. We are offering free hot drinks and biscuits at our weekly warm welcome events, 2 PM to 4 PM at Hillhead on Wednesday afternoons and 10 to noon at St Columba's Halls on Thursdays. Come for a chat or to read the paper or make use of our free Wi-Fi, St Columba's only. Reverend Philip Wright, Minister St Columba's, Hillhead Church, Oldale Road, Kirkintilloch, G66 3HQ, and 2 Rosebank Avenue, Kirkintilloch, G66 2PR. P. Wright at churchofscotland.org.uk. Mobile 07427 623 393. Kirkintilloch Church of God. At Regent Hall, Regent Street every Wednesday, our coffee corner is open from 12 noon to 2 PM for home baking and coffee. Join our friends and neighbours for a chat over a coffee. On Sunday, there will be a Zoom service at 6:30 PM. The speaker will be Steve Seddon. A warm invitation to everyone who is able to join us on Zoom. Access details for the stream can be obtained by emailing hello@regenthall.org. For up-to-date and further information on our services, visit our website on www.regenthall.org. The Bible says, "For God so loved the world that he gave his one and only Son, that whoever believes in him shall not perish, but have eternal life." John 3 verse 16. St David's Memorial Park Church. At St David's Memorial Park Church, our Sunday morning service on January the 22nd will be a joint service at Lindsay Old Parish Church. It will be at 11 AM and all are welcome to attend our service. Our Tuesday lunchtime service will be held each Tuesday from noon in our small hall. Our next service will be January the 24th. All are welcome to attend this afternoon service. Our Friendship Club will also meet on January the 24th from 1:30 PM to 3:30 PM. Again, you're warmly invited to come along to the church. The church has commenced with a warm space. This will continue on Mondays in 2023. Volunteers are needed to support this event. If you can offer some time and support, please contact the church through the Facebook page. Each month we will hold a craft morning for all primary age children. Our next Saturday at SDMP event will be on January the 28th from 10 AM to noon. It is a free event and you can register through our Facebook page. St James Church, Hilton Road, Bishopbriggs. Rector Reverend Canon Paul Wilson, 0141 230 4080. On Saturday, January the 21st, Dads and Toddlers will be taking place in the church hall from 10:45 AM. All dads and toddlers are very welcome to come along. Bacon rolls will be provided for the dads. There is a communion service at the chapel on Thursday, January the 19th, and on Sunday, January the 22nd at 9 AM. The 10:30 AM communion service with hymns on Sunday is in the church. Face masks are personal choice. Everyone is welcome to come along to any of these services. Do stay on for tea, coffee and fellowship afterwards. The Meditation Labyrinth is still available in the car park for a mindful walk round. There are also other virtual services and groups for up-to-date and further information. Refer to our social media. Facebook, St James LS Bishopbriggs. Website, www.stjamesbishopbriggs.org.uk. Springfield Cambridge Church. Morning worship on Sunday, January the 22nd will be led by Reverend Ian Taylor and Mrs Julie Harty in the sanctuary at 11 AM. The Sunday school meets in room 2. There is also a cash facility where we will be happy to look after your child, birth to 3 years, in room 2. Morning worship has also been live streamed on the Springfield Cambridge Church YouTube channel. A link to this can be found in the Springfield Cambridge Church website, www.springfieldcambridge.org.uk, and Facebook page, where up-to-date information about events and church organisations can also be found. Tea and coffee is available after the service in room 1. Come along and enjoy the fellowship. There will be a vesture hour on Wednesday, January the 18th from 10am to 11am for anyone wishing to talk with the minister. There will be a short weekly service of worship in the Springfield Chapel on Wednesday, January the 18th from 11:10am to 11:30am, after which tea and coffee will be available in the Hall of Fellowship. Kenmure Parish Church. Alison and Bruce Keith will lead us in our Sunday morning service beginning at 11am. The service will be live streamed on YouTube and can be found by searching for Kenmure Bishopbriggs. Our warm welcome hub is open again on Fridays from noon until 3pm, providing a warm, safe place with free hot soup, coffee, tea, etc. to all who might enjoy some fellowship each week. This is open to all, not just members of the congregation. Details of all of our groups that are currently running may be found on our website, kenmure-church.co.uk. To find us on Facebook, just search for Kenmure Parish Church, spelled Kenmure, Parish Church. If you would like to join our WhatsApp group or receive the Bible studies from ABC, then email us at kenmurechurch@icloud.com. St Mary's Parish Church. The service on Sunday, January the 22nd will be a joint service for all Kirkintilloch and Lenzie churches to be held at Lenzie Old Church. The service will begin at 11am. On Wednesday, January the 18th, the weekly Wednesday welcome will take place. There is a warm welcome for everyone with tea, coffee and home baking. There will be a short service beginning at 11:30am. On Saturday, January the 21st, a brunch will be held in the church halls. Tea, coffee and shortbread will be available from 10am to cost £1, and then hot filled rolls from 11am till 2pm costing £2.50. A variety of fillings will be available, including gluten-free and vegan options. Colston Wellpack Church. As the festive season has come to an end, why not join us at Colston this Sunday at 11am, service led by Reverend Leslie Grieve. Tea and coffee served after the service. All activities will be starting soon with the Colston Art Club on Monday from 10am to 1pm. Come along and practice your artistic flair. New members welcome. For information, contact 07709 584 680. This Wednesday, Cake and Company from 11am till 12:30pm. Come along and enjoy some friendly chat and warm companionship. The food bank is open every Friday from 11am to 1pm and 2pm to 4pm. In these difficult times, a grateful thanks to all for their giving and time. Follow our church services on Facebook at Colston Wellpack Parish Church, and if you require further information, contact Lenzie Grieve on 07813 255 052. Milton of Campsie Church. The Guild meets this Wednesday at 2pm when John Brown will give a presentation on clean water. Time to pray is at 7:15pm. Board meets at 7:30pm, followed by the Kirk session. BB Anchor and Junior sections are at 6:15pm on Friday. Thanks to all who sent in pictures of home. Next Sunday's topic is weddings. Warm Spaces Hub is on Monday at 1pm. To volunteer and or for more information, contact Anne Pert, annpert56@gmail.com. That's ANNPERT56 @gmail.com, or 01360 313 003. Also on Mondays, Baby and Toddler Group at 9:45am, Hobbies Club at 2pm, Badminton Club at 7:30pm. Advance notice of Mini Missimo Go Mad Extra, Sunday, February the 5th, 1pm to 3pm, for children of all ages. Jot form registration is now online. Lenzie Union Parish Church. Sunday, January the 22nd, we will be joining in the joint cluster service at Lenzie Old at 11am. The Meeting Place coffee shop is open on Wednesdays, 10am till noon in the new hall. Meet your friends and enjoy a chat over a cup of tea or coffee. Everyone is welcome to attend. We also have a good selection of greetings cards and second-hand books for sale. The The coffee pot is open on Fridays 10 AM till noon in the new hall for teas, coffee and chat. The drop-in youth cafe on Thursdays 3:45 PM until 5 PM is a place where young people can hang out, relax and have a good time after a long day at school. Each week there is a free snack, with lots of different things to do such as games consoles, table tennis, arts and craft, board games and more. Sunday, January the 29th is Super Sunday, when worship will be held at the Elders at 11 AM. A soup lunch will be served in the new hall after the service donations from the soup lunch will go to Crossreach. Church of Scotland. You are invited to a joint service for the 4 churches in the Lenzie/Kirkintilloch cluster to be held in Lenzie Old Parish Church on Sunday, January the 22nd at 11 AM. There is a Sunday school for children aged 3 years to primary 7 and focus for secondary pupils. A creche is available for children under 3. Lenzie Old Parish Church. Thursday Club meets on January the 19th at 2 PM in the church hall. Enjoy tea and coffee and home baking, followed by a game of Scrabble, Dominoes, Rummikub and Uno. All welcome. Scottish country dancing is on Thursdays at 7:30 PM in the church hall. A gentle form of exercise for body and mind. Time out on Monday, January the 23rd at 7:45 PM. It's a social evening for ladies of all ages. District News, General, Wednesday the 18th of January 2023. Peril is a wee smasher. Peril is a 2-year-old French bulldog. She is a pretty girl who is instantly friendly to everyone she meets. Peril enjoys going for walks, but she can be uncomfortable around other dogs and prefers to walk in calm and quiet areas. Peril likes to spend time off her lead in the garden sniffing and playing. It's not unusual to see her zooming and running around having lots of fun. She loves people and is a real snuggle bug. Peril would like her new owners to be at home most of the day to keep her company. If you think you can provide a home for Peril or any of the 50 dogs available for rehoming, contact West Calder Rehoming Centre on 01506 873 459. COVID was the last straw for the NHS. Heart of the Matter column by Dr. Frank Dunn. Another new year, another year older, floods of New Year resolutions and no verbs in my first sentences of 2023. I am currently looking out at quite the most dank and miserable day in my recent memory. Mind you, my memory is not as good yardstick to go by these days. Despite the strikes, the collapsing NHS and continuing infernal virus symptoms, we all seem to be on with life and making do. However, I have to express an ongoing concern about the NHS. This is not just a post-COVID effect. COVID was the straw which broke the camel's back. Reducing acute bed numbers, failures to forecast the effect of changing patterns of working, the lack of a robust workforce plan were all areas of concern pre-COVID. The pandemic has magnified these. We are not just producing enough doctors for the needs of the population. Work-life balance has meant that there is a high percentage of doctors are working less hours, retiring early, and many are no longer involved in unscheduled care. Therefore, the number of doctors working in the NHS does not equate with the number of full-time equivalents. We need to use universities such as Perth, Stirling and Inverness to set up medical faculties. Of course, there are logistic difficulties, but these are not insurmountable. This is not a quick fix, but is essential for the long-term healthcare in Scotland. I have previously suggested that the NHS should be depoliticised. All politicians see the NHS as a key to success in the polls. Nonetheless, we know that in times of crisis, for instance World War II, political views were set aside for the good of the country. I do not feel it overstating the case to say that we are in the midst of a crisis within the NHS. Therefore, the political parties should agree a way forward. My pet dislike of present is when politicians on both sides of the border insist they are doing better than their neighbours. This is of no comfort to patients waiting for many hours to be assessed and treated. The irony is, in all of this, that when the patients finally get a hospital bed, their treatment is excellent. They are cared for by kind and dedicated health professionals. This has always been a strength of our NHS and will be until the end of the day a key component in maintaining this most treasured institution. And that column was by Dr. Frank Dunn. Wonderful night of music. Music by Brahms headlines Milngavie Music Club's February concert at Cairn Church on Friday, February the 17th. In a real journey of discovery, leading British clarinet player Robert Plain is joined by internationally acclaimed gold piano trio in a fascinating era of music for the clarinet, violin, cello and piano. The piano trio in C minor by Brahms is a chamber music classic. The group will also play music by Amy Beach, who emerged as America's leading classical composer in the 1890s after a long struggle for recognition for women composers. Tickets are available online, www.milngavimusic.org. That's www.milngaviemusic.org. At the Honeybee Cafe in Milngavie, or pay at the door on the night. Society of Antiquities. The Antiquities meeting on January the 12th heard a well-illustrated talk from Carol Primrose on Mavis Valley, a deserted mining village in Bishopbriggs. Carol is a retired librarian and archaeologist who is a former president of the Glasgow Archaeological Society and currently secretary of the Eastern Bartonshire History and Heritage Forum and a trustee of Gavin's Mill in Milngavie. She has taken part in several above-ground archaeological surveys, including one of Mavis Valley in 2012, and is chair of the Association of Certified Field Archaeologists, ACFA. She has lived in Bishopbriggs for many years. Mavis Valley is in the north bank of the Forth and Clyde Canal, west of Balmildy Road. It was one of a number of small villages that were built in the Carron Ironworks Company in the 19th century to house workers for the coal and ironstone mines that had been sunk in the area to provide raw materials for the ironworks. Carol showed how information on the development of the village could be obtained from sources such as the 10-yearly census data, old Ordnance Survey maps, and photographs and documentary evidence. In the case of Mavis Valley, a very useful document was a report to the medical officer for Lanarkshire into the housing conditions of miners in 1910. The village developed rapidly during the second half of the 19th century and reached its peak just before the First World War, when there were 116 houses. After the war, there was a rapid decline in the mining industry, and the last mines closed in 1930. The village was abandoned, and the houses were bulldozed in 1950. The site is now woodland, but the above-ground survey in 2012 found the outlines of many of the houses in communal areas, such as drying greens. Carol's talk was enjoyed by all, and was followed by a lively question and answer session. Your time. Going Green with Angela Terry. Green campaigner and consumer expert Angela Terry separates climate change facts from fiction and explains how you can take simple, practical steps to help save the planet. Follow @OurOneHome and visit onehome.org.uk for more advice. Enjoy your favourite tipple while toasting a much greener planet. This week Angela Terry looks at ways to still be green while enjoying your favourite tipple, or maybe two. Question: how can I be environmentally friendly when it comes to having a drink or two? Answer: we might be midway through dry January, but this is a question I get asked a lot. There are two ways to answer this question. The first, to think about mileage. In the same way that seasonal eating reduces food miles because you're eating what's produced on your doorstep, so does local drinking, and I don't mean going to your pub around the corner. Most counties in the UK have local breweries, whether they're on a bigger or microbrewery scale, so have a look at what's been produced on your doorstep. There are some more obvious ones like cider breweries in Somerset and whisky producers in the Highlands, but Cornwall has gin producers and the Midlands has cider. Research what you have locally, as not only will you be reducing food miles with the distance your drink needs to travel to get to you, but you'll also be helping out our economy too. The next way is to drink in an eco-friendly fashion, is to support the bigger producers that have initiatives to help the environment, and there are plenty of these. Absolute Vodka uses carbon neutral facilities and is aiming for zero emissions, zero waste, and 100% recycling by 2040. Bacardi operates in an initiative called Good Spirited, Building a Sustainable Future. They've helped reduce their carbon emissions by 90%, and they've pledged to stop us using plastic altogether by 2030. Bombay Gin have won industry awards for their approach to sustainability. They use a biomass boiler that uses byproducts of the production process to power the distillery, and are partially powered by hydro energy, which is renewable. Glengoyne Whisky in Killearn, north of Glasgow, is powered by renewable energy and is partnered with the Wildfell and Wetlands Trust, supporting its WWT Can campaign to create an additional 100,000 hectares of wetlands across the UK. The Discarded Spirits Company makes vermouth, rum and vodka using waste ingredients from used banana skins to discarded grape skins from wine production. Sapling Spirits pledge to plant a tree for every bottle sold. Each bottle lists a unique scannable code which tells you what tree was planted and where it lives. The company has planted over 89,000 trees, from fruit trees in London to oak trees in Bristol. Anheuser-Busch InBev own brands including Budweiser, Stella Artois and Corona. They've pledged to be powered entirely by renewable energy by 2025, with Budweiser already entirely brewed using renewable sources of energy. There are plenty of ways to enjoy your favourite tipple and help the global and local environment too. I'll happily raise my glass to that. Celebrity spot. It might be a decade since she narrated A Fierce Green Fire, the battle for a living planet, but Meryl Streep says her passion for protecting the environment started when she had her first child in 1979. She says, "It all goes back to being a mother. That's the most invested relationship you have. You pay attention, perhaps for the first time. What is going in your child's mouth? What's her environment like? What will the future be?" Green swap. January is often the time of year when we think about giving our homes a spruce up for the brand new year. Whether it's the hallway or the bedroom, if you're repainting, swap regular paint containing volatile organic compounds for eco-friendly. Preparing your garden for warmer spring days. We're entering the coldest part of the year so far, having had snow already in parts of the country, balmy 40 degrees Celsius of summer feeling like a distant memory. But while we're all braced for the toughest part of winter to come, the good news is that spring is just around the corner. Now it's the time to start thinking about how you can help nature in your garden get through the last few months of cold before animals start to nest and think about breeding. Prepare your garden properly, and, before you know it, your outside space will be awash with birdsong and nature in all its glory. Firstly, don't be too neat. Nature doesn't conform to tidy lines, so a bit of disorder will encourage things in. Birds, insects and amphibians need leaf litter and areas of dead vegetation, so don't feel the need to neaten and sweep everything up. It might sound obvious, but don't use weed killers or sprays. They're almost all chemical and can harm nature. Next, whether it's an actual bird bath or a bucket of water, have something in your garden birds can drink out of and bugs can make use of. If you're thinking about getting a bird feeder, make sure it's out of the way of the local cats. Harder said than done sometimes, but planting it where cats can't easily stalk prey will give your visiting birds a fighting chance. Try to recreate layers of growth. If you head to your local woods, as well as the trees, you'll see bushes and ground plants and ivy. These layers are important for birds to hide in, nest and protect their territory. If you plan to plant trees or shrubs, and don't mind the birds eating the hard-earned fruits of your labour, cherry trees and blackberry bushes will give them a high-calorie boost to come, which is vital when they're rearing chicks. Other bird-friendly plants include hawthorn, rowan, holly, ivy and honeysuckle. Similarly, if your budget can stretch, then a bird box will attract birds. You might have to be patient, but they'll eventually come. You can make easy bird feeders by dipping pine cones into melted fat and rolling them in seeds. Or use a couple of old cups and melt fat, left over from the Christmas roast for example, and mix in nuts and seeds before pouring them into your old cups, leaving them to set, and then hang them from trees. The Woodland Trust, www.woodlandtrust.org.uk, has plenty of ideas on how to encourage nature to bloom in your garden. So, whether you have an extensive lawn, terrace or balcony, there are ways you can bring nature right onto your doorstep. Doing it now will mean your local birds are familiar with the changes before breeding season starts in earnest. Fact or fiction? Electric cars can be powered by crustaceans. Fact. New studies from the University of Maryland has found shooting, a byproduct of shells from creatures like crabs and lobsters, could be used as a sustainable source of energy.
City go further ahead at the top. An article by Brian Yule and read by me, Corey. Glasgow City extended their lead at the top of the table to 6 points as they returned to action in the SWPL 1. The 4-0 win away to Spartans last Wednesday, January 11th, was followed up by an 8-1 demolition on the road at Dundee United on Sunday. A Lauren Davidson double, an own goal and a Megan Foley strike saw off the side from the capital. Erin Greening grabbed a hat-trick on City's first visit to Gussie Park, with Lisa Forrest scoring a double and further goals from Hayley Lauder, Emily Whelan and Davidson. City host Hamilton Accies on Sunday, just a few weeks after dumping them out of the Scottish Cup. Rossvale women's trip to Dryborough in the SWF Championship was postponed due to a waterlogged pitch. West Park United kicked off the new SWFL West campaign with a 2-2 draw away to Cumbernauld Colts. Rossvale are at home to Livingston on Sunday, while West Park host Harmony Row. Kirkintilloch Rob Roy, hosting of Largs Thistle in the WOS Premier League, also fell victim to the weather. Petershill lost 7-1 at Beath Juniors, with Scott grabbing a consolation goal in injury time from the penalty spot. Rossvale drew 2-2 at home to Blantyre Victoria in the First Division, with Fraser Malcolm and Connor McIntyre on target. Rossvale Academy had no game in the 4th Division, but West Park United kept up their promotion bid with a 5-0 win at home to Harmony Row. Glasgow Pershore won 3-2 away to Greenock Juniors in the 2nd Division, with goals from Patterson, Butler and Musa, while Ashfield had no game. Fixtures. Tonight, Wednesday. Glen Afton Athletic versus Petershill. Saturday, Petershill versus Cumnock Juniors. Pollock versus Rob Roy. Cumbernauld United versus Rossvale. Pershore versus Craigmark Bartonians. Ashfield versus Glasgow University. Rossvale Academy versus Campbelldown Pupils. Thorn Athletic versus West Park United. That article was written by Brian Yule and read by me, Corey. Lenzie youngsters play in festive tournament. The fun football section of Lenzie After School Club held a Mentors Festival at Soccer World Glasgow in Ruckazy just after Christmas. The theme for the event was Racism, Kick It Out, and all the boys playing attended the local Lenzie primary schools. Miller Snook, Lenzie Meadow, Holy Family, and Laird's Land. Winners Section A, Callum. Winners Section B, Matt. Player of Tournament A, Callan. Player of Tournament B, Oliver. Final standings, Callum. Fined: Jamie, Matt, Harry/Peter, Craig. The boys normally meet to play in small-sided fun football games on the artificial pitches at the Academy and Lenzie Meadow. Countdown to World's Biggest Cycling Event. An article by Morag Cook and read by me, Corey. The world's biggest cycling event can deliver a lasting legacy for Scotland, the Culture Secretary has said, as the country prepares to host more than 2,000 elite cyclists and paracyclists from over 100 countries in 6 months' time. The 2023 UCI Cycling World Championship, taking place from August 3rd to 13th, will be the first time 13 World Championships come together in one place at one time to compete. The championships, hosted in Glasgow, with events taking place across Scotland, will see cyclists compete for more than 190 coveted UCI World Championship rainbow jerseys. There will be a wide array of world-class action on show over 11 days, with everything from track sprints and mountain bike downhill races to BMX freestyle and indoor cycling acrobatics. Culture Secretary Angus Robertson said, "The 2023 UCI Cycling World Championship will be more than just an event. It will be a fantastic opportunity to celebrate the power of the bike and promote Scotland globally, with over 1 million spectators expected to travel here to watch the championships. As well as boosting our tourism and supporting Scotland's economy, this major and first of its kind world event can have a lasting legacy. Through our £1 million Community Cycling Fund, we're already supporting sustainable cycling projects and local events to ensure as many communities across Scotland get involved. We want to inspire a new generation to cycle, helping more people to benefit from the mental and physical health benefits, as well as promoting active travel and helping reduce travel emissions. The UCI's choice of Glasgow and Scotland to host this inaugural event reflects our proud history and experience of delivering world-class major events. This will be a must-see moment in the 2023 calendar, uniting athletes and spectators around the world and bringing multiple cycling disciplines together for the first time ever." Chief Executive Officer of the 2023 UCI Cycling World Championships, Trudy Lindblade, said, "We want to deliver the most vibrant and inspiring event for everyone in and across Scotland, and have more people ride bikes more often, increasing participation in any form. A key focus for the championship will be promoting the benefits of cycling to the younger and more diverse audience, with women, children and young people at the heart of activity. Scotland truly is a perfect place for riding bikes, from vibrant towns and cities to beautiful coastlines. We want to ensure Scotland is a bucket list destination for cycling, and will work closely with Visit Scotland and our partners to promote cycling tourism options, such as cycle-friendly hotels, advocating for safe places to ride, and encouraging legacy investments, all while ensuring responsible tourism. The Cycling World Championships has a budget of over £50 million to deliver 13 disciplines across Scotland. To register for pre-sale tickets, visit www.cyclingworldchamps.com. That address again is www.cyclingworldchamps, which is CYCLINGWORLDCHAMPS.com. That article was written by Morag Cook and read by me, Corey.
Thank you for listening to this week's Kirkintilloch Herald podcast, brought to you by Kuhn Review, print speaking to the blind. If you've any feedback, you're welcome to call us on 0141 772 3976. If you enjoyed this recording, feel free to subscribe to our channel.